Hello, friends. Welcome back to the book club where you read chapters 31 to 33 today. Hello, creature. How are you doing today?
Hey. All right, real quick, just to get it out of the way. We heard your comments. I want to make this fast so that we can get right into it, so you don't have to skip forward on the second or third listen through or whatever. Um, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. The only comments we receive are "Great job, Queen. We love your content," or "Hey, we hate how low energy you are. We hate when you sigh, and we hate that you don't bring up the good things about the manga as much as you do the bad things." So we will do our best to be more high energy. Uh, she's the only one who fucking sighs, so that's her fault, and she'll fix that.
I mean, I just sigh
Um,
and yawn all the time in general. It's not that I'm low energy. Well,
and
I'm
so
always low energy.
we will just go through these chapters. I will be more high energy. And we will do this. The problem that we run into is the second that we finally have the ability to answer these complaints, because we pre-recorded those episodes so that we could have the content out during the holidays and also be able to not worry about making content during the holidays, so we weren't able to respond immediately. We finally reached chapters that we think are good,
Yeah.
so it's annoying, but it's whatever. It's fine.
Can you turn the light? I forgot. Uh, but yeah, I apologize that people think that we are low energy.
I don't. We are low energy. I just have to fake it for the content.
Fair enough, I guess. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do.
All right, so chapter 31.
Yippee!
It starts with the Hishoka member. Oh god. Oh
Yoshaku.
no. Oh no.
You were mad at me for not
Oh
being ready.
no.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god.
Good start, good start.
Oh Jesus.
Maybe this is what they were talking about.
How could this happen?
Okay.
Hishaku. It starts with a Hishaku member and Chihiro talking. Chihiro is having a minor mental breakdown, and his scar is throbbing from the fact that he's finally in front of a Hishaku member so that he can interrogate him and get answers on why his father needed to die. As he's having this freak out, you can tell that he's slowly regaining control of himself over time, because a lot of the text is really small and cluttered together in the same way that his thoughts would be. Um, and over time, those become more and more like actual thoughts. The Hishaku guy is being a dick. He says that he's the leader of the Hishaku, which I guess you can believe it or not if you want to.
We have no proof,
Yeah.
so
And he says that he's the one responsible for the murder of his father. He's not going to justify anything, just kill him if you want to. Then he pulls out his own. Oh, yeah, no, he just uppercuts him. The Hishaku member uppercuts Chihiro to get him away from him. And by the time Chihiro opens his eyes again, the Hishaku leader is behind him, ready to kick him. The kick misses because he's using the Cloud Gouger, so his speed is increased by a lot. The kick misses, hits the wall, so he pushes off the wall in order to hit Chihiro. Kicks him into the wood wall. The wood wall then grows around him to hold him in place so that they can have an even better conversation. The Hishaku member is like, "Oh, you're using the Cloud Gouger, and the Cloud Gouger is broken. It's getting weaker, it seems like. It's either because you're a bad user of the sword or it's broken. Or maybe it's both." Fucking idiot. Um, and then the Hishaku member starts explaining stuff, which is cool. Um, And so he says there's plenty of time for them to talk because the auction is just going to start, and there's not really much that they need to worry about. Then we cut to the Sazanami clan head starting the auction with a bunch of dead bodies around. So he is capable of defending himself without the two. Oh my god.
oh,
Two, yeah.
okay.
Because there's four two, Uh,
Hawk two.
And then he starts
Uh,
talking about how great the swords are, how great the smith who made the swords were. And then we cut back to Chihiro and the Hishaku guy. And Chihiro's just asking questions like, why put the Shinoichi up for auction? What are you after? Why did you kill my father? Then we cut back to the Sazanami clan head talking about, again, how great the swords are. And the fact that 5 of the swords changed the tides of the battle and the 6th won it. And oh my god, you're not going to believe this. We're selling the 6th blade.
Oh.
And then the leader of the Hishaku talks about the fact of, oh, the reason why we're doing all of this is because I want to use the Shinoichi. I want to use the biggest nuke in the nuke arsenal. Putting it up for auction is a part of the plan. That's why we've been helping the Sazanami clan so often lately. We had to make sure the Rakatsuchi auction would go on without a hitch so that they could have the Shinoichi up for auction. They don't really explain that much, but hey, that's exactly what I've been asking for, so it's enjoyable to try to think about this stuff. Chihiro just reiterates that they've been helping each other. The fact that everyone who he's seen try to use the blades is incredibly evil. And then the Hishaku leader talks about the fact of enchanted blades don't choose people, anyone can enslave them. And Chihiro goes, yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to kill all the bad people who want to take the sword. Why haven't you killed me already? And the leader is like, oh, I planted seeds of hatred in you, and you're still not ripe enough for me to pluck. Whatever that means.
It's like tomatoes.
Oh, of course. And you're relying on Cloud Gouger far too much because it's a broken enchanted blade. And you're not good enough with the sword, and the sword's not good enough to keep up with what I'm trying to do. So both of them are worthless, multiplying into still being worthless. I won't bore you. I have a lot to tell you after all. For example, I want to tell you what happens after we killed your father. And Chihiro goes, I don't want to hear you explain why you killed my father at this very second. All I know is they need to be stopped. All I know is the blades were important to my father. And all I know is if the swords can be used by anyone, then I have to kill all the bad people who want to take them. And he starts talking to the Cloud Gouger in his head, saying, listen, you're going to die. I'm probably going to die because this guy's really strong. We'll die together. And so he uses the Cloud Gouger as May, which is lightning, and then Shred, which shreds. It's pretty cool.
It do shred.
It does shred. What do you think of this chapter?
I didn't like the constant back and forth. I understand why it happened. I just don't like it as a storytelling thing. I prefer when it's like it focuses on one thing and then it goes to the next. Like I'd rather be like this, and this, and then 30 seconds earlier, this, and this on from the other perspective.
Haven't we literally made fun of that multiple times?
I don't think I know what I want.
Okay.
I like the chapter. There was a little bit of fighting. We get to see just how, like, mentally unstable Chihiro is. And how just... he's clearly on a path for revenge, and it's fucking with his head, but he's still able to keep a clear head and understand what he needs to do.
He got hit with an emotional gut punch and he was out of breath, but over time you can see him regaining his breath.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
What'd you give it?
Insult sandwich. I really like seeing the fact that the Sazanami clan head was correct in the fact that, like, he can just do the two's job. The two were just there as a, like, political stunt, so he can just kill everyone that's coming to the thing. I thought that was neat. I like how they don't just say that out loud. Like, we don't cut to the audience going, oh my god, I can't believe he didn't need the two this whole time. That's really enjoyable that they just decided to actually let us figure that out. Bad thing. The Hishaku are gonna make sense eventually. That's it. That's the only bad thing I can say about this chapter. I really like this chapter. There's not a lot of like, there is some, but there's not a lot of just saying exactly what you mean, and then the other person says, "Oh, I know you're thinking what I mean," and then them saying exactly what they mean. That was enjoyable. That there's a lot of letting you figure stuff out and then giving you a little bit less of a subtle hint about it. That was really enjoyable. I really like this chapter. This is easily like a 9 out of 10 for me. This is
Ooh,
one of my favorite chapters that we've read so far.
high praise.
All right, you ready for chapter 32?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chapter 32. We cut to the him using May Shred, which explodes around him, destroying chunks out of the wall, and the Cloud Gouger, in solidarity with Chihiro on the brink of death, strained itself in order to unleash power beyond its limits, making him way faster than he was before, making the lightning coming out of Cloud Gouger be black, and destroying the wall and allowing him to cut off the Hishaku leader's arm, which uh, he grabs it, throws it at Chihiro, and when he puts his arm up to block it, the leader is behind him ready to kick him. As he kicks him, Chihiro's so fast he's able to get away and then attack from there by stabbing him in the shoulder. But the problem that Chihiro runs into is, oh, he let me do all of that so that I would be in the position so that I would get hit.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what happened to Chihiro's arm or eye.
Yeah, that's lightning.
No, go up. He spat
He's
blood onto his eye.
Oh, he
I
did.
just realized. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
neat.
All right, and the Hishaku leader is like, "Oh, your speed and attack are on a different level. I had to do this, which is lose his arm to keep up." Um, and as Chihiro is looking at the wall that he blew a like chunk out of, it's already regrown.
Mm-hmm.
The wall is extremely thick for not having blown through it with the attack, and the wall regenerates extremely fast. So he knows that he'll have to use a full power attack on the wall in order to get through it if he wants to get through it. And because of the fact that him and Cloud Gouger are now deeply tied together through their impending demise, he knows that he can only use a full power attack 3 more times. And so what Chihiro starts thinking about is, I have 3 options here. Number 1, I can try to run away. Number 2, I can fight the Hishaku leader. Or number 3, I can go through the wall and try to finish the plan that we've set up. The problem with attacking the guy is, even with May or the Cloud Gouger being supercharged, he seems to still be able to fight on the same level, which means that Chihiro is effectively only has 3 chances of killing him, and he doesn't think he'll be able to kill him in those 3 tries. So he's not really a fan of that plan. Running away isn't an option at all because he wants this whole thing over with, and so that leaves him only with one option of going through the wall. And then Chihiro tells the clan head, "I'm going to kill you." And then we cut to the Sazanami kid. He tries to use Iso on his brother, which fails. And then his brother just goes on and on about, "We are the only ones who love you. We know that they're trying to take you away from us. They're so evil. We're the good guys. They're the bad guys." Uh, the Sazanami kid sees... They're the Sazanami, right? The Rakazuchi is run by the Sazanami, yeah. He sees that the wall like started shaking and there was black electricity going through it. And so he's like, "Oh, that lightning was Chihiro's lightning and it like damaged the wall. So he's definitely going to be coming through the wall eventually because he's the samurai and he wants to save me, which means that I have to do something in order to help." And then we got back to the brother talking about, you'll love us eventually. And then the Sazanami kid is like, "That's not how Chihiro is. Chihiro is the samurai." And then we cut to Shiba explaining spiritual energy to the Sazanami kid of a bunch of stuff that I won't get into. If you're interested in it, oh my god, you can read the story.
It's like
I'm
chakra.
I'm trying to not just reiterate entire chapters. Um, and so they talk about the fact that when Sazanami Kid was young, he got a shit ton of training. At 8, you start training. At 11, you're supposed to finish your training and then like figure out what your aptitude is. And then at 12, it's determined if you'll be in the toe or not. Two. Sorry, I can't believe I mispronounced it like that. And so then Shiba tries to explain to the Sazanami Kid, hey, by the way, you're incredibly strong. You're a prodigy of sorcery. It's just you've put up so many mental blocks and called yourself useless so many times that you actively can't do the things that you want to be doing. And as they're explaining this to him, uh, Chihiro's like, don't worry about it. Try your hardest and we'll always be there to pick you up if you fall down. And so the Sazanami Kid is like, all right, fine. I'll get rid of the walls. I'll do my best because everyone else is doing their best. We want this thing to end and we have to do it together, which means I have to do my part. And so he uses Iso for the third time. I think it's the third time in the story. And it works. And his brother's like, oh my god, you just did an Iso. That's insane. You can do sorcery. All you did was move me with your cute little shockwaves. And then he see the big Sazanami guy who's beating up the little Sazanami guy can hear the wall behind him cracking because Chihiro's about to come out of it. And Chihiro comes out of it and slashes him in the back with his 2 swords. And Chihiro says, Hikari, we've gotta go. And the little Sazanami Kid is like, oh yeah, you got it. We're working together on this one. And then we cut to the Kishaku guy going, well, that exceeded my expectations. He's very level-headed. And then, oh my god, that's Hayuki behind him. You can see the silhouette.
You can see the bone.
You can see the bone fist. What do you think of chapter 32?
First, I just want to say I was right.
About what?
I said that Hikari was going to be like the best user of Iso ever. And lo and behold, he is. He just couldn't do it because he didn't believe in himself. And let that be a life lesson. You can do anything you put your mind to.
As long as you believe in yourself.
You just gotta believe.
Give your opinion.
I like the chapter. I think it showed some good character growth. It established a couple of things. It did do the thing before where it's like, oh, by the way, you're like the best of the best, and I have to dock it a few points for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, so I would probably give it another 7. Above average.
Okay. I have to continuously wonder what the story loses from being in chronological order. Like, what's the bad thing about getting these explanations that happened, like, in order that is chronological? That's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. I think that I personally would prefer a story where all of the stuff that they're talking about was talked about in a chronological order, so we don't have to keep cutting back every few panels so that we can get explanations that were talked about.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they told him before, like, yeah, you have really strong spiritual energy, you're a prodigy, you're really good at it. You've just set up these mental barriers, and then it could do, like, progressively over time, he's realizing, oh, you know what, maybe I am good, maybe I am worthy, maybe I can do this.
I didn't say all of that.
And
I disagree with everything you just said.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, that was it.
Okay. I don't want the change in how the story happens. I just want to change in how the story is told. That's all I care about.
Fair enough. I think there's a good middle ground between the two things that we are saying, but I mean, the story still works fine. I just think it could work better.
I don't.
Okay. So what would you give the story or the chapter?
This chapter is a lot of like The only thing that changes from this chapter having happened is the fact that the Sazanami kid believes in himself, and the big Sazanami guy got cut in his back twice. Everything else that happens this chapter is negligible. So it feels a little bit time wasty in the middle of like big emotional events, but I'm obviously wrong about that. I think this chapter is like a 6 out of 10. It's better than the average of this story, but I have problems with it that are personal preference.
Okay.
I just can't really care about the fight between the Hishaku guy, because either he's lying about being the leader, so it means kind of nothing if he dies, or he is the leader, which means that Chihiro can do nothing in this situation anyway, because the Hishaku leader is just letting him do it, which is odd.
He's gauging his strength.
Yeah. And then there's the whole like the little brother versus the big brother, which is, going places.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 out of 10 for chapter 32. I enjoyed it. It just makes me uh like I just think about things. All right. Chapter 33. All right, we cut right back to where we ended the last chapter with the big Sazanami guy getting cut in his back. Chihiro and the small Sazanami kid talk about the fact that they need to go do the thing. The little kid asks, "Oh, did you defeat the guy on the other side?" And Chihiro says, "No."
And then the tree just heals back up. So it's still blocked off. He just broke through. My bad, dog. I'm just saying. Because in the end of the last chapter, we can see Bone Ash Girl there to show that there's still more stuff happening on the other side of the wall. Go ahead.
Okay.
It just seemed like you were glancing over that part.
Yeah. All right. And so then we get the panel that is the background of this episode, which I just thought was funny. Then we get a shot of the sumo guy beating the shit out of people. And then we get to cut back to what Chihiro said before he broke through the wall. All we heard was, "I'll kill you." And then we get the end of the statement, which is, "One day, I'll promise." So he'll kill him on a different day. So then we get to look at the Hishaku having done business with the Sazanami clan head before, and the Hishaku leader talks about the fact that the Sazanami clan are the only ones who are going to be sacrificing people to protect the Rakazuchi, so he's out of here since he already got what he wanted, which was to test Chihiro. Then the Sazanami guards, who aren't the two, start teleporting in to deal with the Bone Ash lady. What's up?
Also, he reattached his arm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important to say.
Oh, yeah, he can heal himself.
He reattached his arm and then teleported away.
Yeah.
There was no stakes when he let Chihiro cut off his arm.
Yeah.
So.
Then we just keep getting back and forths of, "Oh, I didn't know the government was gonna be this like hostile. I thought the government was gonna be a bitch baby bastard about all of this stuff and just complain about the fact that we're selling people but not actually do anything about it." And Flamebone Girl is like, "Oh, no, that's not me. I'll just kill you fuckers." Then we get a cut to the Sazanami clan head having flashbacks about how great the Rakazuchi is and how all the clients love the Rakazuchi and how the Rakazuchi delivers products of the highest quality. And he is telling the two kids, which is the small Sazanami kid and one of the members of the two, that they're special and they're the youngest sorcerers that they've trained, and they're very special, and they're his kids, but just because they're his kids doesn't mean that he chose them for any other reason other than how good they are. The Sazanami clan protects the Rakazuchi because the Rakazuchi is super cool. Then we cut to Shiba with a really cool effect of like him lighting a cigarette and it burns up the flashback, which is neat. And Shiba is going to use the small Sazanami clan guy's eye as an ashtray if he doesn't tell them how to open the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Um and we get a wider cut of him having beat the shit out of every member of the two that was in the room. And one of the members of the two was like, "Hey, don't gouge out my brother's eyes. I'll tell you how to get in." And the guy who was going to get his eye gouged out talks about, "Oh no, over my dead body. There's no way I'm going to let you beat us. We have to be the best because we're special." This isn't favoritism because you're my son. He has to make his father proud, which his father is the Sazanami clan head. And then his father teleports an item directly in front of his son, which is one of the members of the two. And we get to look at what the Hishaku member had given the Sazanami clan when we looked at them having done a dealing at the earlier bit of this chapter, which was a piece of Dattenseki, which apparently has been stabilized enough that you can use it for a limited amount of time and it won't make you explode, which is exactly what Sojo told the other people that died, and they definitely did explode. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I don't know about that because go back up. Choose carefully when to use it. Its effect is temporary. Your body won't be able to contain the flood of spirit energy.
Yes, that's what he's telling them, which is exactly what Sojo told that group of sorcerers. You remember when he was in the hot spring and he was cleaning himself?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, you should have asked more questions. I told you it'd give you power unimaginable. Didn't tell you that it would make him explode, though. You should have asked more questions." The Sazanami clan head tells the two member that he just gave the Dattenseki to defend to the death. The other member of the two that was going to tell him the secret in order to save him says, "Don't do it. It's not worth it." And then, oh my god, when he picks it up, there's a jellyfish behind him, which is a physical manifestation of spirit energy. It's the special spirit energy reaction of an enchanted blade, because the Dattenseki is used to make the special blades, which is why you have to make them into special blades, because blah, blah, blah. All right. Chihiro can notice the fact that there's a shit ton more spiritual energy all of a sudden. And he's like, "Oh god, we got to get there now." And as Chihiro's telling the small Sazanami clan kid that they're working with, "All right, we gotta go," the big Sazanami clan guy stands up and goes, "Oh my god, you're dead. I'm not letting you get past me," as he stands up with his 2 wounds on his back. The small Sazanami clan stops Chihiro from fighting him, and he says, "I have to do this. Cloud Gouger only has a few attacks, and you need to use those attacks to save yourself and Mr. Shiba. I'll hold him off here. I'll win. You guys trusted me to be a part of this plan. We all have to work together. This is me trying to do my part." And then we get a narration of, "To the Sazanami, he's only a tiny bud that finally sprouted. But now that the wall is broken, the genius blood that flows within him accelerates that blossoming. So there can't be..." I'll handle it. The small Sazanami clan tells him he'll handle this because he's blossoming.
He goes Sans mode.
All right, what do you think of the chapter?
I thought it was really good.
Okay.
We're gonna get an epic fight scene where there's gonna be Shiba fighting the guy.
Yeah, but what did you think of this chapter?
Okay, I won't give my opinion then.
You can give your opinion after you give your opinion on the chapter.
I'm going to.
I'm fucking with you.
Why?
Funny.
Okay. I feel like there's going to be a really big payoff. I really enjoyed this. It established a lot of information all at once, but in a way that's easy to understand. Yeah, I think this has been my favorite chapter so far. I'd probably give it like an 8 or a 9.
What information did it give us?
The Dattenseki If you use it correctly, if it's been stabilized, you can see the physical manifestation of spiritual energy instead of just it's there because of how powerful it is.
Yeah, the
The
swords have always done that.
okay. Uh, the Hikari, whatever his name is, the the guy that defected and is on the good guys team. He's like, how do I word this? He's understanding that he is powerful and he's learning to use it, and this is like his I can't think of the word. His coming of age thing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Um, it's what he has to do to prove to himself that he's epic and based in poggers.
Mm-hmm.
Chihiro, I'm sure he'll have to fight the head. Uh, I can never remember people's names. Chiba is gonna have to fight the guy before he explodes. Bone Ash Girl is gonna have an epic fight with the other people. I don't really know who she's fighting. I think they're just other guards.
Yep.
Other members of the family, because they also have the Sanzai.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the next couple of chapters are going to be really good, and this establishes that pretty well. So I'm excited. I think the two kids that he called special were twins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the other one is.
What other one?
Well, the one of them was going to have the cigarette put out in their eye.
Yeah, that's him with the tied back hair. That's
Yeah.
the kid who defected.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
These two are the son of the clan head. They just all call each other brothers.
Oh.
Because they're all members of the Sazanami clan. These two are actually brothers.
Okay. I thought they were all brothers.
No. These two are the kids of the clan head. Everyone else is just like high-ranking guards of the Sazanami.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that.
And
better.
they all call each other brother.
Brother. Yeah, I'm excited. What did you think?
This chapter did happen. Everything that it tells us is either a lie, which the Hishaku clan giving him the Dattenseki and saying you definitely won't explode is either a lie, or Sojo somehow figured out how to do it and then just didn't give it to himself for some reason. I fully believe that kid is going to explode just like every other sorcerer who's held on to raw Dattenseki. I don't think I learned anything new from this chapter. It's all just kind of reiterating stuff. I guess we did learn that the other kid with the tied back hair who's going to explode is also the clan head guy's kid, which is information, I guess. We're not going to see the Sumo or the Bone Ash girls fight because they're just fighting regular guards, so they're just going to be dead on a single panel like before. Chihiro's going to fight the guy with the jellyfish because it gives him the power of a sacred sword, so a sacred sword has to fight a sacred sword. Shiba's gonna fight the clan head. Yeah. I don't know, man. This chapter happened. It's like a 4 out of 10. The whole reason why I was like, they can't change the story in that way that you wanted it to be, of him like figuring it out over time, is because they want him to figure it out this second right here and then just be done figuring that out.
He needs to have a big explosion of power.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have two very different opinions on it. So I guess everyone else that's made it this far is going to have to give us their opinions.
I forgot to say to like, comment, and subscribe in the first like 5 minutes. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Oh my god. Well, I guess they'll either have to have watched this far and we'll know who the real ones are. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, I had fun. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks with the next couple of chapters.
Absolutely.
Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.
There you go.